As a matter of fact, I think we spend most of our time laughing.
But not politics.
Well, look, all you have to remember is just a few words. If I help you, maybe they'll all come back to you.
All right.
Why these 70s stars refuse to work with each other again. What happens when two of the biggest stars of the 70s, people who seemed unstoppable, suddenly refuse to share the same stage, the same set, or even the same room? Well, behind all the glitter, the record sales, and the Hollywood smiles, the 70s were full of bruised egos, explosive fights, and grudges that lasted decades. So grab your popcorn, because today we're diving into the wildest celebrity feuds and messy breakups of the 70s that left stars saying, never again. Drop your guess in the comments. I bet you'll be surprised by the stories I'm about to tell you. 1. Sonny and Cher, the divorce that killed the duo. Let's start with one of the most iconic pairs of the 70s. Sonny and Cher weren't just husband and wife, they were America's quirky, stylish power couple. Their variety show dominated TV ratings. Their banter was legendary, and fans couldn't get enough of their chemistry. But behind the jokes, Cher was growing tired of being treated like Sonny's sidekick. He controlled their contracts, their finances, and, in her own words, treated her more like property than a partner. By 1974, their marriage collapsed in an ugly divorce. Cher accused Sonny of manipulation. Sonny claimed Cher was impossible to work with, and the fallout was so bad that when their show ended, neither of them wanted to perform together again. Think about it. They built their empire as a duo, but the tension off stage killed the magic. Ever wonder how different the 70s would have been if they'd patched things up? Number 2. Steve McQueen versus Paul Newman. Battle of the Cool Guys.
No, it'll be okay. If the water's deep enough, we don't get swished to death. They'll never follow us.
How do you know?
Now let's move into Hollywood tough guy territory. Imagine two of the biggest male stars of the 70s, Steve McQueen and Paul Newman, working together on one set. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, not exactly. When they starred in the Towering Inferno, 1974, their egos collided like a head-on crash. Both actors demanded top billing. McQueen even counted how many lines Newman had and demanded the script be rewritten so he wouldn't look like the lesser star. This wasn't just petty, it was contractual warfare. McQueen refused to appear in any more projects with Newman afterward. He couldn't handle sharing the spotlight. It's wild when you think about it. Two legends, both kings of cool. But their rivalry made sure we never got a second movie pairing. Number 3. Diana Ross versus The Supremes. Friends turned foes. Here's a music story with some serious sting. Diana Ross and the Supremes were unstoppable in the 60s, but by the early 70s, cracks were showing. Diana was being groomed by Motown's Berry Gordy to be the solo superstar. When Diana finally left the group, the breakup was messy. The other Supremes felt abandoned, accusing her of ego and betrayal. Mary Wilson, Ross's former friend, later admitted she never really forgave her. And here's the kicker. For years after their final concert together, Ross avoided reunions. The wounds ran that deep. What could have been a Motown dream revival turned into decades of icy silence. 4th, Richard Pryor versus Chevy Chase, the SNL showdown.
You see, I told you we had nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry.
Let's talk to the child.
Yes, you talk to her.
Comedy isn't always fun behind the scenes. In 1975, Saturday Night Live was just getting started, and Chevy Chase was already making enemies with his arrogant attitude. When Richard Pryor came in to host, tensions exploded during a sketch rehearsal. Chevy allegedly threw out racially charged insults, and Pryor fired back, nearly walking off set. The sketch got rewritten, but Pryor refused to work with Chase again. And honestly, can you blame him? Two comedy legends, but only one stage could hold them. And they didn't share it twice. 5. The Eagles, bandmates at war. Okay, let's talk about one of the messiest rock band implosions ever, the Eagles. On stage, they were flawless. Off stage, pure chaos. By the late 70s, Don Felder and Glenn Frey could barely stand each other. Their feud peaked during a 1980 concert in Long Beach when they were literally threatening each other while performing. Felder muttered insults under his breath, Frey shot back. And after the show, guitars weren't the only things getting smashed. The band broke up shortly after, with members refusing to reunite for 14 years. They joked their comeback tour should be called Hell Freezes Over. So yeah, sometimes the music you hear hides a battlefield. 6. Marlon Brando versus Frank Sinatra, Mafia Movie Mayhem.
As a matter of fact, I think we spend most of our time laughing.
But not politics.
You'd think two legends like Brando and Sinatra would light up the screen together. Instead, they nearly killed each other's chances in Hollywood. When Guys and Dolls was being cast in the 50s, Sinatra wanted Brando's role, but Brando got it. Sinatra was furious, calling him Mumbles for his soft-spoken acting style. By the 70s, their hatred hadn't cooled. When Sinatra heard Brando might appear in The Godfather, he reportedly tried to block the casting. Brando got the part, of course, and won an Oscar. Sinatra never forgave him. They never worked together again. And honestly, the tension might have been too explosive for one movie anyway. 7. Bette Davis versus Joan Crawford, the feud that never died.
Awful things to me if I weren't still in this chair.
But you are, Blanche. You are in that chair.
Okay, this one technically started in the 30s, but it was still burning hot in the 70s. Bette Davis and Joan Crawford's rivalry was one of Hollywood's most notorious. By the time they starred in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, in the 60s, the hatred was legendary. On set, Davis accidentally kicked Crawford in the head during a scene. Crawford retaliated by stuffing her costume with weights, so Davis would strain her back, lifting her. Even after Crawford's death in 1977, Davis famously said she didn't shed a tear. That's how deep the feud ran. 8. Fleetwood Mac, The Lover's War. If the Eagles were bad, Fleetwood Mac was worse. Their 1977 album Rumours is still iconic, but it came out of total relationship chaos. Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham's breakup, ugly. Christine and John McVie's divorce, messy. Mick Fleetwood having his own affair? Yep, that too. The band was basically a soap opera set to music. They swore off working together more than once, but somehow, money and fame kept dragging them back. Still, every reunion came with baggage, and some wounds never fully healed. Number 9. John Lennon versus Paul McCartney, From Brothers to Enemies. And, of course, we can't talk 70s feuds without the Beatles. When the band split in 1970, Lennon and McCartney's friendship collapsed into bitter lawsuits and diss tracks. Lennon mocked McCartney in interviews. McCartney fired back in songs. Fans picked sides, and the dream of a Beatles reunion faded with every insult. The saddest part, by the time they were patching things up in the late 70s, Lennon was tragically killed in 1980. They never truly got to work together again. 10. Lucille Ball versus Desi Arnaz, Love, Business, and Heartbreak.
Well, look, all you have to remember is just a few words. If I help you, maybe they'll all come back to you.
All right.
Finally, let's wrap with TV royalty. Lucy and Desi were America's favorite couple on I Love Lucy. But off-screen, their marriage was crumbling. By the time they founded Desilu Productions, arguments over money, affairs, and creative control made working together unbearable. Their divorce in 1960 was messy, but in the 70s, whenever reunion talks popped up, Lucy shot them down. She loved him, but she couldn't go back into business with him. Sometimes the pain just runs too deep. So there you have it, 10 stories of 70s stars who said, never again. From broken marriages to shattered bands, bruised egos to lifelong grudges, these behind-the-scenes dramas remind us that fame doesn't protect anyone from messy human conflict. But now I want to know, out of all these feuds, which one shocked you the most? Was it Lennon versus McCartney, Fleetwood Mac's love triangle madness, or maybe Steve McQueen and Paul Newman's ego war? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love reading what you all remember. And hey, if you enjoyed this trip back into the drama of the 70s, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and of course, subscribe for more deep dives into the legends, scandals, and secrets of music and Hollywood history. Because trust me, we've only scratched the surface.